that as a business owner, it's sort of our onus to encourage our clients to speak up. And one of the ways you can effectively do that is by, after a job is complete, you probably could have a customer service sort of survey thing to fill in. How did we treat you? You know, how was your experience? Did you get any, you know, any recommendations that we can employ? That sort of thing. I always do that before I ask for the testimonial. And I go one step further. I actually call. Like, I don't just leave you after I finish coaching you or your program, whatever. Every so often, I'll pick up the phone and say, okay, you know that particular speaking program or whatever program we were putting into place, how does that going for you? You know, what are you encountering any bumps in the road that, you know, I could maybe help you with right now? And in doing that, and this is another point, I'm going a little bit further. I'm taking an extra step, and I'm not asking for any money or anything for that. That's just a complimentary thing that I can throw in, and you know, in your business, you could throw in, and I mean, whatever your business is, you could find something that you could take the extra step and throw a little bit more in, just to keep the customer happy, and also to get their interaction and their feedback on if there was some complaint or some kind of way to to bring something to your attention that you perhaps don't know about.
Okay,
right?
So that's great. So our first one is listen to the customer, and of course, as you say, Mark, we're in a two-way communication environment now. So, you know, no more one-way company just giving their ad messages to the customers. So what's the second one? I want to get through all 8, Jeanette.
Okay, well, the second one is answer the phone. Answer the phone. Nobody likes talking to a machine robot all the time. Now, I know today it's difficult to always answer your phone, but there are options. You can have call forwarding to your cell or your mobile if you're on the road, so you can answer the phone that way. You can have an answering service answer the phone for you. Or if you are still, you know, having the answering machine, which we all do, or the answering service, make sure the message is 100% personal, not robotic. And this way, your client is encouraged to leave a message and always get back to them, not in 24 hours and not in 48 hours, but I like to answer my calls like within 2 hours. And if I don't take it personally, I have my assistant answering for me. So there's a little bit more personal touch. When I'm in the office, I pick up every single call. They get Jeanette. You know? So I think that's an important one. Do you want to weigh in on that one?
She nailed it. I don't know how you add to that.
Okay, well, we can move on then.
Let's move on then. Number 3.
Okay,
right?
number 3.
Okay, so number 3 is don't make promises unless you intend to keep them.
Yeah, I'm married, so I learned that lesson a long time ago.
And you know what? I'm glad that you mentioned this, because I think customer service and relationship building, or just in dealing with clients, is very much like dating or being married. If you want to woo somebody to be on your side, you have to be responsible and reliable. And that means don't make promises you can't keep, because there's nothing worse in business to upset your client and really make them have a disbelief in you than when you blow your credibility by making all kinds of promises you don't keep, right? They're not going to believe you. So, and the thing is, it's not just about delivery. Like for example, if you're in the furniture business and you say, yeah, the couch is coming on Tuesday at 11, make sure it's Tuesday at 11. But it's also in things like meetings and appointments. You know, you don't, if you're supposed to be there for 11, be there at 5 to 11. You know, don't keep the customer waiting. Show your customer that you care enough to invest in them. And that's a lot beyond listening. That's also making sure that you follow through and you keep your promises.
Absolutely. And you know, you could take it even one step further with that whole under promise, over deliver. Mm-hmm. You know, if you are going to make promises, you know, if you're not sure, like you said, maybe being somewhere at a certain time or whatever, say, you know what, I'll try to be there between 12 and 12:30. Show up at 12. Mm-hmm. You know, if you can. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of going that extra mile. If you make promises you can't keep, it does look bad. If you go over and above, even if it's something not major, it still leaves a positive impression.
Absolutely.
And the other thing too, you know, it's a matter of courtesy too, right? Like, I mean, stuff happens. Sometimes, you know, you're in the middle of a traffic jam or the subway breaks down or whatever. But if you have a phone on you, and let's face it, we all do, right? How many of us do not have cell phones at this point? You know, we all do, really, or Blackberries or whatever. You can call, you can email, you can text. There's, if you're going to be late or whatever. It's just, you know, it's just taking that responsibility one step further. And I think that that's important.
It's like common courtesy. It's amazing how far that'll go.
And especially if you're standing out from everybody else who's not going that far, then you're really going to stand out. People are going to remember you when it's time
amazing how
to,
something as
order.
simple as common courtesy, like you said, calling if you're going to be late, you don't see that much anymore, do you? In business,
No,
especially.
You don't, because unfortunately, I think a lot of the personal touch has gone out the window. And you know, I've brought this point up before in my segments, and I have to say that I'm sad about that, because I like being very personal and warm with people, and I like putting in the personal touch. And you know, maybe people think, well, that's weird or whatever, people don't do that anymore. I don't think so. I come from a small town, and I come from a business family, and I saw how effective it was to have that personal touch and to build those relationships with your clients. And I have to say that in Toronto, I really admired Ed Mervish, because I think he was absolutely superb at nailing this. Customer service beyond.
Free turkeys.
Free turkeys, whatever. Yeah, that's another point we can make about how you can always, you know, throw in something extra. I think that's a good thing to do, is to throw in something extra, because when your client, you know, they expect a little bit more for the service for what they're paying, and when they don't see it coming, you just throw in something extra.
Right.
It's so much
Absolutely.
greater.
Makes a big difference.
Yeah. Again, it comes down to, you know, going beyond, and you can do that in everything you do, whether it be, I mean, for us, whether it's something like designing a website, a PR campaign, whatever. There's always that opportunity, and in any industry, there's always that opportunity. Whether you're a, you know, one of those retailers, I don't know if we can mention them or not, who deliver beds. They put on the little booties. You know, they've become quite famous for that. You know, and that's going that little extra that most other places wouldn't, you know, and they've really built on that. And so many businesses, every business, in fact, I would say, if the owner stands back and just looks at what they do, there's always an opportunity to add that little extra to help them separate themselves from everyone else, and the cost would be zero or near zero.
Okay.
Well, you know, I wanted to also say that the something extra doesn't have to be like super expensive either.
Absolutely.
See, a lot of businesses think they have to outdo or keep up with the Joneses and make it really expensive. It could be something minute, you know, like for example, if you're in the picture business, including some picture hooks for the picture to be hung up with. That's a thoughtful, practical thing. It saves your client some time, and it's just something small that, you know, you could throw in, and it doesn't really cost, like you say, cost you anything, but the client remembers. And to that, I would like to also add, there's, sorry, did you want to ask me something? Go ahead.
I'm just trying to figure out what number we're on.
Well, we actually covered 5, so we got 3 left to go.
Okay.
She's fast. She's efficient.
We only have 20 minutes.
Boy, this is like extra customer service, Jeanette. Okay, sorry, what were you going to say then?
I was going to say that there's another thing called take the extra step, and I'll talk to you a little bit about what I mean. Have you ever been in a store where you say, I can't find something, and the clerk or the sales girl says, oh, it's over there on aisle 3, and you just say, you go down to aisle 3 and you still can't find it, and you're wondering, like, can you get over here and help me find this thing? And I think that's so important. Don't tell me where it is.
Absolutely. And
Go
you know what?
there and show me, and wait and see if I have any more questions about the product. Don't just leave me.
And the best is when you ask them to show you, and they go, "Oh, all right, okay,
Yeah,
I'll
like
show
it's
you."
a major inconvenience.
Oh, now I have to walk 2 aisles. Oh, you know, yeah, it's really tough on them. I feel bad for these employees to have to go that extra mile and acknowledge the existence of people who pay their salaries. It must be wearing on them. But
And since you mentioned that, let's make another point, which is the people who pay their salaries need to train their staff about what is good customer service and about being courteous and helpful.